All right, let's take you now to New York, where Governor Andrew Cuomo is giving his daily briefing. Let's listen.
35,000 tests per day is a healthy snapshot, a healthy sample, and then watch it literally every day and calibrate what you're doing. Again, I'm asking all the protesters to please get tests. That is a new question that has been dropped into the mix. We had all these at-home measures, and then we had thousands of people show up for protests. Did that affect the spread of the virus? We don't know. We don't know. So I'm asking the protesters, please go get a test. It's free, it's available, but there is a chance that you were in proximity to people. Again, we've gone through this, what they call a super spreader. One person in a crowd of 100 people can infect dozens. We've seen it. So please, we have 15 testing sites in the New York City area that are prioritized just for protesters. We're also focusing on the hotspot neighborhoods in New York. These are zip codes where we know there's a much higher infection rate than other parts of the city, and it's dramatically high. Overall, the infection rate in New York City is about 19%. Some of these communities are over 50%. So we're targeting these hotspots, more testing, more treatment in these hotspots, and more awareness. We're also setting up additional testing. Thank you very much, Northwell Health and Somos Community Care. More testing sites in those zip code areas for people in those zip codes to get tested. So 240 testing sites alone in New York City. So you can get a test. It doesn't cost anything, and there are 240 sites available, so there's no reason not to do it. There's a website where you can go to the website, punch in your address, find the availability, call, and set it up. I'm asking the protesters to get tested and take as a precaution, act as if you have been exposed, and you may want to tell people that who you're interacting with. Stay away from people who are in a vulnerable population until you take a test and you know that you're not infected. People in those zip codes where you have that high infection rate, get tested. Get tested. And that's all on that website. Also, as we're working through this, we're going to extend the deadline for filing property taxes, tax abatements by 90 days to give small businesses some assistance. We're going to restart elective surgery and ambulatory care in New York City. The MTA is reopening. Roma Torrey asked me on an interview, how do you know the subway is going to be safe on reopening day? I said, because if it wasn't safe, I wouldn't ask anyone to go on the subway. I make these decisions, and for me, it's very simple. I just assume I'm making the decision for myself and for my children. And I said to Roma, if the subway isn't safe for me, then I wouldn't ask anyone else to go on the subway. And today I took a ride on the 7 train. The MTA has done phenomenal work. I'm old enough to remember the bad old days in New York City. And when we would talk about how dirty the cars were and the garbage that was in the subway cars and the stench, frankly, that was in the subway cars. The subway cars are cleaner than they have ever been in my lifetime. I mean, they had to disinfect the subway cars. Just think about it. I mean, it's almost a bizarre task, right? We're going to disinfect a subway car. So many years, they couldn't figure out how to get the newspapers and the coffee cups out of a subway car. Now they're disinfecting. And they are disinfecting the cars and the stations. They've done 30,000 station cleaning disinfection, 500,000 subway car cleaning disinfections. They've applied antimicrobial treatment to the surfaces in the subway cars and the stations. They're using UV light technology to clean facilities. So they are doing everything they can. We are giving them an additional 1 million masks and 25,000 gallons of hand sanitizer that we make in the state, 500,000 2-ounce bottles. I think after the ride on the subway, I have about 10 2-ounce bottles that I collected. Masks are mandatory when you are riding public transportation, subway, bus, you're in a station. Stay 6 feet away when possible. Use the hand sanitizer. Use the hand sanitizer and observe the guidance that is on the trains, etc. The MTA is also launching the It's Up to Us New York campaign. You'll see this if you're riding the subways or the buses. It's up to us. How do you stop the spread? It's what we do. Are the subways safe? It's how we act. Are the sidewalks safe? It's how we act, right? If you're wearing the mask, if you're keeping distance, yes, it's safe. But it is a function of us, each one of us, and us as a collective. While the ridership has been reduced, there was also an opportunity in the reduced ridership, right? One of the ongoing challenges the MTA has on construction is to do construction, you have to reduce the train usage. You reduce the train usage, you inconvenience commuters. When the ridership was reduced, the MTA smartly increased their construction because the ridership was reduced, so fewer riders were inconvenienced by the construction. And they accelerated $2 billion in capital projects, rehabilitating the F train, using the lessons they learned in the L train, where I want to applaud Jano Lieber and his team for literally setting a record in smart government construction. Smart government construction does not have to be an oxymoron. You can have smart government construction, and Jano Lieber showed that. They're accelerating 11 ADA stations, 24 new elevators, rehabbing the 138th Street Grand Concourse Station, accelerating steel and concrete defects and leaks on the 2345 Eastern Parkway line in Brooklyn. New Yorkers did what many experts told me was impossible, 100 days. I don't think I've had a good night's sleep in 100 days, knowing some of the things they've told me. New Yorkers bent the curve by being smart. We're celebrating, we're back, we're reopening, we're excited, our mojo's back, our energy's back. Great. Stay smart, stay smart. Look at facts around us. Other states, the spike is going up. California, the numbers are going up. Florida, the numbers are going up. Texas, the numbers are going up. Look at the reopening date and look at what happened after they reopened. That is the cautionary tale, my friends. Gentleman on the subway car just said to me he has family in Arizona. They reopened and they're seeing a spike. He's right. Look at the spike in Arizona. You have to stay smart after the reopening, because if you don't, you can see a spike. That is the last thing that we want to see. But I don't believe we will, because we are New York tough, smart, right there. Second word, Andrew, smart, right after tough. Smart, united, disciplined. Last word is for me, loving.